I'm Lauren Whitehurst. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach.
Hi, I'm Sunny Lippincott. I'm a certified professional life coach and a certified brain health professional.
We also have Angela Salyers, who is a licensed professional counselor, and the three of us together make up
Whole Life Vitality.
We teach whole life vitality of the mind, body, and soul, bringing the physical, emotional, and spiritual together for whole life wellness. Welcome back.
Welcome.
We are here for another episode of the Whole Life Vitality podcast. And today I'm so excited to talk to you because...
Why? Why are you so excited?
Because...
Share.
It is my birthday. Not actually today,
It's
but
my birthday.
Sunday, which I believe this will post on Monday. So my birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I will be 40.
40.
Which, yay. But the reason why I wanted to talk to you today is because about 5 years ago, I made a life-altering decision, life-changing choice. And that was to, when I turned 40, be happier, healthier, fitter than I was at 30.
You wanted to age backwards.
I did want to age backwards.
That was your wish for
Yes.
40.
And I was 35 when I made that decision. So even at that point, I was like, I realized that I'm not asking to stay here. My objective is not to stay where I am at 35. My objective is to be even healthier, even happier, even fitter than I was, even younger looking than I was at 30. And well, sometimes I think that people think that. I think that's a regular wish, right?
Yeah.
Lots of
If
people
you're
that
a
I
woman,
talk to.
if you're a
Yeah.
woman, aging is very difficult. It is very difficult because society, it's even in the movies, you can have the older male, but you usually paired with a younger counterpart.
Well, what do they say? When a man ages, he's a silver fox, and when a woman ages, she's an old hag.
Yes, and it's
like,
it's completely
"That's not fair."
unfair, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we're bombarded with that. So it is something that is very, very difficult for women as we age because we feel less and less, I guess, attractive, viable. And, it's hard. So you see a rise in Botox and, surgeries and weight loss programs that aren't healthy.
Yeah.
Because we all want to turn back the clock because it's very hard. It starts weighing on us that, maybe even in a good relationship, you start thinking, are they, looking at someone else? Do they still see me as attractive? All of these things. It's a mindset.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that, because as you were saying that, I realized maybe I should preface with, I haven't had anything done. I haven't had any Botox. I haven't had any fillers. I haven't gone under the knife. I haven't done anything, no extreme anything, just shifting to a healthier lifestyle that's all I've done.
Yeah. If you are just listening, you should get to a place where you can look at her. Look at her.
If you're just listening, you can go to our social media platforms and we'll have some pictures on there as well so you can see. But this morning, I was sitting at the car dealership while I was getting my oil changed, and I was going through pictures to try and find some for this podcast. And as I was going through, I'm looking at myself over the last 5 years, over the last 10 years, and thinking, wow, okay, that was the point that I made the decision. That was the point that I started to notice physical changes. That was the point when I realized that internal changes, like mental changes, were happening.
Right.
That was the point when I realized, oh my gosh, this could actually happen. Yeah. And I just kept going. And those points were years apart.
Yeah.
Because I made the decision I guess sometime late 2017, like fall of 2017. And then 2018 started to see a bit of a physical shift and continued through 2019. And I don't think it was until maybe mid 2020 when I realized this is who I am. This is just who I've become. And I got rid of all the clothes that I could have worn. I was like, well, I'm not going to, why would I have 3 different sizes of clothing?
Right.
Why? And someone actually said to me, I thought all women own like a range of like 4 different sizes of clothing. And I that was kind of the look on my face too. And I said, really? And then I had to think back. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, then I gained 80 pounds. And that was a lot. That was a lot to handle at the time. And I thought, oh, it's just pregnancy weight. It'll come right off. And it didn't. And so I owned the clothes that I had before I got pregnant. And then the clothes that I wished that maybe I could have fit in that didn't quite fit when I went to the store and bought them. And the comfortable clothes and the maternity clothes. I mean, I owned an entire store of clothing in my closet. And the majority of them were wishful thinking.
So if for the ones that are listening right now that want to know, what did you start with? When you made the decision, everything starts with a decision. You make the decision first, but after you made the decision, what did you do?
Yeah. I decided at that moment, I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, what does that mean? And I was really frustrated at this point because I spent my entire, I wanted to say adult life, but really since I was maybe 14, going up and down and up and down and starting something and being on a program and being really fit and exercising a lot and eating really healthy and
Beach
then
body,
and then not.
P90X,
Girl, I did all the
all
things.
the things.
I did all the things.
All the things.
And as a personal trainer, I was like, this is fun and this is research and this is material. And it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. But then there would be this very definite ebb and flow. I would be in the program. I would be out of the program. I would be on it. I'd be doing it. I'd be sharing it. And then I'd be binging. And so I thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm never going to start over again. And so I said, if I'm never going to start over again, what does that look like? What does that mean? Because every single time I started a new program, I would feel miserable.
Yeah.
I would be sore. I would get migraines because my body, I would just dive in head first, just go all in. And the detox and the process of pushing my body really hard would trigger migraines. And it was just this really miserable process to start over. So I just decided I'm never going to start over again. Well, if I never start over again, then that means that I'm never going to stop. Does that mean I have to go 100% of the time? And that's the conversation I had to have with myself. Because no, okay, well, if I'm never going to stop, then what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean I can never rest? That just means that whatever I'm doing is consistent enough that there's room for rest and there's room for growth and there's room to push hard.
Did you start kind of tailoring your workouts, or did you still follow programs? Like what's the step when you go from the P90X to I'm not going to quit? So was it like a small start where you said, okay, I'm going to make sure I get movement every day, like some sort of movement? Like what was that point for you?
Since I said I'm never going to stop again, then I had to give myself an insane amount of grace.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, if I'm not going to ever stop again, then this has to look like something that will work for me forever.
Absolutely.
So I found some apps that I like. I am a personal trainer. I do put together programs, and that's so fun. But as a personal trainer, I do it for a living, which means that when it comes to programming myself, sometimes I just want to turn my mind off.
Yeah.
So I found some apps and things that I liked, and I would go to the gym and I would open up my app and I would go through and see what it said it wanted me to do. And I'd be like, I don't want to do that or that or that. Okay, yeah, but I'll do that. Sure. And so I would just do what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. So it was not about, and we talked about this, it was not about perfection.
Not even close.
It was about, setting a habit and showing up. You were trying to build the muscle of movement.
Yep.
Like putting your health first. And it's so important with anything that we start that we don't dive into the deep end if we don't know how to swim.
Right.
Because you're going to flail around, try to get yourself, back to safety, and then say, I'm not doing that again.
Yep.
Forget it.
Yep.
Forget it. If that's what it feels like, I'm not doing it again. So, when making that decision, even, for your health, you had to decide, for my body, I need to focus on what's good for my body, what's good for my brain. Is McDonald's good for my body or good for my brain? You had to make that decision.
Not last time I checked.
So it might mean that you decided, I'm going to sacrifice, the I don't know,
Instant gratification.
yes, and the easy route of just it's game day. So my kid has this much time and da 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 da. I can just go through real quick and just get him a Happy Meal.
Right.
You sacrificed that for, okay, I know what I have tomorrow. Let me reverse engineer and plan that. And,
Right.
Well,
and I guess even just changing my dialogue, because I stopped thinking about it as a sacrifice.
yes.
And what would the sacrifice be here? Well, the sacrifice would be telling myself, fine, you can have this now, or you can do this now, or don't worry about taking care of yourself, but you're not going to hit your end goal. And that would have been the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And preparing the food for myself, or I do go through the drive-through sometimes. And today I needed quick food. So I ran by the grocery store and I grabbed something from the produce department, and it was great. And that, I guarantee you, people, did not take me longer than going through a drive-through.
Right.
It did not.
Yes.
And it did not cost more
Right.
than going through a drive-through.
Absolutely.
I
Anyone
spent
going through the drive-through lately?
Yeah.
It's
I spent
absurd.
$8 this morning. I got a bag of salad with all the fixings that had the dressing. It had cheese. It has croutons. It had everything I needed in that bag of salad. And I got myself a yummy drink.
Yeah.
And I spent $8.
Yeah.
I cannot go to Chick-fil-A and get that.
No, you won't. I think the last time I went through a drive-through for one meal, it was over $10.
Yeah.
For one. And that wasn't, we live in the South. I don't know where it is, wherever you guys
Right.
are. But when they ask you, do you want to large, extra, super size, modify it? I said no. So this was a normal size meal that was still over $10. And you're like, I know I'm not eating Kobe beef. So what am I paying for here? But it's so true. It's a mindset.
It is a complete mindset.
That health has to be hard, and it has to be that you're going to sacrifice, that you're going to give up, your fun. You're going to give up sleep. You're going to give up things that make you happy in order to be healthy.
Yeah. Even how you said it, you're like,
Healthy.
It's so funny because there's this trending sound on social media going around that said, it's something like, what does this world look like when eating real food that's grown in nature is considered being on a diet?
Yes.
You're just consuming real food. You're just consuming food that is grown naturally.
Yeah.
And somehow that's being on a diet.
That's being on a diet. Just what God made, what God grew. If you eat that, you're almost like, what are you doing? What diet are you on? What plan are you trying to lose weight? That type of thing. And you're
right.
like, it's a cucumber.
Yep.
I'm eating a cucumber.
You're making me hungry. You're like, cucumber. Oh, that sounds so good. I will say one of the biggest things that I noticed though over the course of this process is the association that people have. I shifted my mindset. And so I knew what my goal was and I knew what I wanted to do. But so many people that I met would say, oh, you're eating that? And they would feel bad for me. It's like they were having an emotional reaction to what I was consuming.
Yeah.
And I would reassure them, no, this is really delicious and I love it. Like, oh, well, we should go out to eat and we'll get steaks. Now, don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with the good steak.
Your husband loves them.
My husband
It's
loves
his favorite food.
them. Yes. I do not love a steak. That is not my preferred meal. I honestly, if I'm going to go out, I usually want fish.
Yeah.
Because I love fish. Maybe not always sushi.
I do not love fish.
I love fish. Salmon. Oh, yeah. Chicken is good. I love lots of things, but steak is just not my go-to. And I would say, you know what? That's okay. We can go out and I'll get a salad. And she looked at me like she was just so disappointed. And she goes, you know what? Maybe we should just not go out. What's the point of even going if you're just going to get a salad?
Yeah.
And I'm like, just get a salad. Have you seen some of the salads you can get? So yummy.
Yeah. Well, you were tapping into something that made her feel bad.
Exactly. And that's where we have to remember that part of being an emotionally mature adult is taking responsibility for your physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being and allowing others to do the same.
Right.
That's something that was shared with me by a friend, and it hit me hard because I was like, oh my goodness, I think that we always forget that last part, letting others do the same.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't need to take responsibility for her emotional response to my food choice.
And yes. Yes. If you want to, have the party and you really like this kind of food, it's your party. Serve whatever food you want.
Oh, for sure. You've come to parties at my house. We serve all sorts of yummy food.
Yes. And I think people are so shocked by that you're normal, even though you are a nutritionist and a personal trainer. And they're like, whoa, she still has chips and dip at her party. Yeah. She makes the dip.
And it's real good.
And it's really good. But yeah, she still has sweets. She still has carbs. She eats carbs.
She does. That's true.
She eats carbs. She has meat. She has dips.
Yep.
We have sweets.
I think one of the biggest things that I hear from my clients surrounding nutrition is, well, I ate a potato. And I was like, I'm sorry, was there something wrong with your potato? Was it not good? Well, but potatoes aren't good, right? What do you mean they're not good? Did it not taste good? Well, no, I mean, it's not good. Because it's a carbohydrate. And I'm like,
keto diets they have everyone believing that a potato is bad for you now.
So many vital nutrients that are amazing for your body. Oh my goodness. I'm not even kidding you when I say I could do like an entire podcast just on the amazingness of a potato. But we'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
But eat the potatoes. Oh my gosh, they're so good for you. The entire time that I was making this shift, a lot of my carbohydrates were coming from potatoes and from quinoa and from whole grain sources. And I ate a lot of produce.
Yeah.
And even today, my kids will come and ask me, they'll say, Mom, can I have a cookie? And I'll say, what did you eat? And they'll say, well, I had lunch. Okay, what did you have for lunch? And they'll tell me, I'll say, did you have protein and produce? And they'll tell me what they had. And I'm like, okay, cool. You had some protein and you had some produce. Sure. Have a cookie. So as long as they've had the protein and the produce, then it's fine. We balance our diets in our house. And I say we balance our diets because if you're consuming food, it's a diet.
Yes.
This isn't this like negative 4-letter word. Actually, when I talk to my clients, I refer to it as their nutrition because the word diet has become so triggering for
Absolutely.
people. Then I'll tell them, it's okay. I'm not going to put you on a diet. And every single one of my clients is on a different nutrition plan based on their particular needs. I actually have clients that we have not modified their nutrition at all because emotionally, they can only handle one thing at a time. And that one thing at a time might be just adding activity at first.
Right. Just working out. Just getting the movement.
Yep. Or just working on your mindset at first.
Well, I mean, with life coaching, I don't give them all of the steps. It's a process.
Yep.
You have to get to the point that it's a snowball. You start making the changes and then you add in the other things. When you're mentally and emotionally available to do so.
Yep.
So,
They have done studies on people who have extended weight loss, and the studies have shown that people who lose weight and maintain that for a 5-year process are way more likely to never gain that weight back.
absolutely.
And so when looking at that path for myself, I thought, well, I had just turned 35, and I thought, you know what, that's about right. Then at that point I'll have been solidified into where I want to be.
Yeah.
So then that's just who I am. And I'm not going to lie, that when I had that realization of, whoa, this is 40, and oh my gosh, I did it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit mind blowing.
Yes. It's amazing. Mind blowing in the best way.
Mind blowing in the best way. But there are moments, even now, years later, I've been in this space for a long time now. Like, this is definitely who I am. When I look in the mirror and I still see that woman who is over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And what I usually do at that point is I grab my phone and I take a picture of that person in the mirror, because I know what I'm seeing is not real.
Absolutely.
It's not real life. So then I turn the phone around, and every single time it surprises me, because I see that person and it's like, this person in my head is not the same as that person in the picture. And I'm like, oh, they look pretty good.
Just proof of how mental your health is.
Yeah. And when I made that decision at 35, it wasn't because I didn't like who I was. It wasn't because I didn't think I was pretty.
Right.
It wasn't because I thought that I was not lovable in some way or another.
Or your husband was telling you to be different or look different.
Right. Actually, I just said to my husband the other day, and I think I've said this to him so many times, just over the course of the 18 years we've been together, just because I fluctuated so much. And I know I am not even remotely close to the same person that he met all those years ago. But I said, thank you so much for who you are and for loving me the way that you do, because he has never made me feel anything less than beautiful. He's always looked at me the exact same way, no matter what size I was,
That's
no matter
beautiful.
where I was mentally or physically. And that is a huge blessing.
It's a blessing. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. So no, none of this was a push from someone else. This was all just my desire to get to a place where I was happier.
Yeah.
Not because I wasn't happy, but so that I could be happier and healthier and fitter,
And that's what you have to change. You have to have a desire. If it's not something that you desire for yourself, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get hard.
Yep.
It's going to get emotional.
So hard.
And without a desire backing it, you'll just give up.
Yeah. And what I would love for you to realize is I could step by step walk you through every single thing that I have done over the last 5 years. But that's my journey.
Right.
And your journey is going to look different than my journey. And maybe my journey took 5 years, and maybe your journey will take 6 months or a year or 10 years. But no matter how long it takes or what your journey looks like, you are going to feel better and better and better and better over the course of that journey. Because it wasn't just 5 years later, I woke up one morning and I was like, ooh, I feel good.
Yeah.
It just continually got better.
Yes. Because you are telling yourself that you're worth it. Every time you show up for yourself, you're telling yourself you're worth it.
Yep.
All right. Well, so everyone wish Lauren a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Send her a happy birthday.
You're so sweet.
She makes 40 look good. If you can't see her, get on social media, because it'll be just.
Sunny did it for me first. She led the way. She turned 40, 2 months ago?
July 26th.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
You just showed me how good it was going to look.
Yeah. Well, I showed you that the sun still comes up.
That's right.
After turning 40, because immediately, we think 40, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that way. I truly, it hurt my husband, him turning 40, more than it hurt me. And I thought it would be opposite.
Really?
I was just there for it.
I think just to leave you on one more note, when 40 started getting closer and closer, and I realized that I had made that goal, I was so excited to turn 40.
Yeah.
And I was excited about that next milestone because then I could tell people I'm 40.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And again, just mindset. You're like, oh, I'm 40 and I am not where I want to be.
Yes.
Or I'm 40 and I put in the work. So
Yeah.
look at where you are right now. Look at where you want to be 5 years from now. If you're 40 and you know 45, what do you want 45 to look like? Do you want to be sitting there at 45 or 55 or 65 and looking back saying, oh, I wish that I had.
Right. Yeah. Truly. Yeah. What do you want?
Yeah.
Lauren and I have decided that we want to learn a new language.
Yep.
So we're going to keep you posted on that.
That's right.
But that's our next goal.
See.
With C. There's a little hint there. Little hint. So stay tuned.
That's right. If you're not sure what the program is for you, what that looks like for you, what your journey is going to look like, we have your mindset needs here. We have your physical and nutritional needs here. So please reach out because we would love to walk you through your journey.
You will actually speak to us.
That's right. Okay. Yep. Thank you so much for checking in today. We'll see you next time.
Bye.